Hey everyone, welcome to Dr. Tony Speaks. I am Dr. Tony, and today we're going to talk about the three top reasons why men should not get married in the 21st century. So I want to preface this off by saying I'm in no way endorsing that men do not get married. It just comes about from what I've seen professionally speaking as a professional psychotherapist over 20 years and anecdotal experience too, and then research that I've studied as well. Again, it's not an endorsement. It's just an opinion from what I've seen out there, okay? And I know this can be a highly controversial subject, and we all have our opinions, and we're all entitled to our opinions as well, okay? This is really just for men to think about the pros and cons right now. I'm talking about the cons. There are lots of pros to marriage as well. Of course, there are, but that's for another video. So I'm starting off with this one, okay? So there's more than three reasons, but I picked the top, what I feel in my professional life are the three top reasons why men, I don't think, should not get married right now. Okay, so the first reason, believe it or not, there's nothing that a man can get in a marriage that he can't get on his own, okay? When you break it down, it's going to really sound crude, but I mean, look, the cooking, the cleaning, the things that we expect, that we traditionally have expected a woman to do, well, we can do those things on our own, okay? And if we have enough money, enough resources, we can cook ourselves, right? I mean, there's those companies out there, they send you pre-made foods that are good for you, that are healthy. All you got to do is just heat them up, okay? You spend a little money on that. Hey, all you do is just, it gets sent to you, no prep work at all, okay? Cleaning, you get a cleaning person, not too expensive, as well, if you don't want to clean up yourself. I mean, look, laundry, there's Fluff and Fold. Drop off your dirty bag of laundry each week for 20, 25 bucks. You take care of it. All you gotta do is just drop it off. Some places come and pick it up for you and drop it off. Okay, so that you can do as well. I'm going to go so far as to say sex. Women do not require men back in the day. I know it's many years ago, but some of you may not know. What was expected in society was most women, and that's really my parents' generation too. Many women expected marriage before they had sex. Okay, but of course, generations before that, that was more of the norm. But now, and since feminism has come around, and women are not doing that, and that's fine too. But I'm just saying that the sex part right there, marriage is not a prerequisite anymore, and men can get that on their own. Unfortunately, I'm just saying, hey, there's massage parlors, there's happy endings with that. There's OnlyFans, or however they handle that. There's seeking arrangements where the woman, everyday woman, low key, they may work at a regular job, but they're selling it too. They don't want to call themselves sex workers or prostitutes. I don't care what they call themselves. It's being put out there, and it's very accessible to get. What are some other things? Money. Well, the man comes to the relationship with money. 9 times out of 10, she's not going to even date him unless she sees that he has some kind of resources anyways. And her money is her money anyways. He really doesn't have access to it for the most part. So that's pretty commonplace. So again, there's those things. And another thing, kids. You definitely don't need a wife for that, right? You want kids, you can foster, you can adopt, right? The state, the county, they'll check your background out, make sure you could be a fit parent. Boom, you got kids too. And that's a great thing to foster or take a child off the street, foster, adopt. You're doing a good thing. All right, okay, but no wife is needed. I know it sounds very bleak, but it's just true. Okay. Also, and here's another thing: women aren't traditional anymore. Okay. What does that mean? Going back to what we said before, women aren't virgins, okay? Women traditionally were virgins, and once again required marriage before sex, okay? Those days have been gone. A lot of women come with high body counts too, okay? A lot of these women have been with a lot of different guys, and there's studies out there that show the more partners a woman has had, the higher chance of divorce too. And no man wants a woman who's had a very promiscuous past either. Okay, I know there's a lot of arguments out there. I get it. But hey, we want what we know that we want. Just what women are very sure on what they want. They know what their deal breakers are too. And they have their staunch requirements. And why can't men have their own staunch requirements too? And we should, all things being equal. Okay. Here's another thing. A lot of women don't want to take care of the home. They don't want to do it. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean. They don't want to support the man. I'm not saying that women don't do it. A lot of them just do not want to do it these days. Another thing, sex. Woman holding sex over a man's head. You know, she gets pissed off at him, no sex for you. Chore play, okay, if you take out the trash without me telling you 10 times, you get a little bit of it. And you're going to get some boring missionary starfish sex at that. So that thing is going to be passionate and exciting. It's going to just be real quick, and that'll be that. And that's if that happens. You know, I do believe that sex is a marital duty. That's just my thought. Okay? Not in a coercive way, not in a way that the rape happens, nothing like that. I still mean consensual, but I still think it's a marital duty. Just in the same way it's a marital duty that the man has to protect and provide as well. He can't stop. If he stops, all hell breaks loose. So anyways, that's just my thought on that. That's probably, I know you guys have a lot of opinions on that too. You can comment whatever your opinions are on any of this. That's fine with me. You know, I take no offense to anything, okay? I just like to get those conversations going, and that's cool too. Another thing, a lot of women want to be boss and career women, be the boss babe thing, okay? And that's fine, okay? I understand that feminism, this is one of the things that feminism has taught women, is really to take away their own true feminine power and beauty and try to emulate the man. But we're still two different creatures. We're different beings, okay? We're not the same, no matter how much society wants to say, make us out to being alike. We're not, okay? All right. I'm glad that through what feminism has fought for is equality, to give women those opportunities. But look, in my work as a therapist, what I see, women who do the career and the family thing, lands in therapy a lot. It's very hard to balance. It's not easy. It's either like choose one or choose the other, but it's going to be a very big strain on you and a very big strain on your family. Not that it can't be done. It's just very challenging. But again, I'm glad that feminism fought for women to have equal opportunity, and I'm all for that, just so you know. Another thing here, really, that a lot of women these days, they just compare or they liken housework, household domestic duties to slavery. And, you know, that kind of gets me, because if taking the kids to school, if you have kids, preparing some lunches, washing some clothes, having several hours of break during the day, be able to nap and kick back, eat some bonbons, look at your daytime TV, okay? If that there is slavery, you tell me what that man out there who was literally funding your lifestyle, paying for all the bills, paying for everything, paying for you to be able to stay home. What's he doing? What is that called then? I'm just saying, if what you're doing is slavery, what he's doing, this is slavery and indentured servitude, where it's like a lifetime sentence. So, I don't know. You get where I'm coming from on that, okay? So, here's another thing, a third thing here. High divorce rates. Okay? High divorce rates. Now, we know the divorce rates they vary a little bit, but on average it's about 41% chance of divorce for the first marriage. Okay, 41%. And those numbers, we're going to go into it after, they subsequently go up, okay, afterwards. Okay, so the divorce rates are really high. Like if you were going to jump out of a plane, go skydiving, right? And you ask the jump master, the guy who jumps out there with you, the coaches you to jump out. Before you jumped out, if you ask the guy, girl, whoever, you say, hey, what's the percentage of this chute might not open? Well, and if he tells you it's 41%, would you jump out the plane? Would you? Or would you just go back to your seat, wait for that damn thing to land, and never get on one again? You see? So when I think about it, like, you want to bet on the 59% chance that it will work, fine, you can. That 41% number, that's pretty high. So that's something you want to think about, okay? You really have to think about that. It may work, it may not work, all right? So anyways, you got to look at that too. Now, second marriages, 60% divorce rate. Third marriages, 73% divorce rate, okay? You may wonder, why does it go higher? And I thought about that a lot. And I thought about in my work as a therapist that why these numbers, partially why they may go up. We, intellectually speaking, we might think the numbers should go down because we've learned from before. Yes, that I think that could have something to do with it, but it's not showing in the numbers. I think as we get older, we're just too set in our ways to change, and we don't change, and we do keep making the same mistakes. And I think a lot of times we double down and go the opposite direction. Instead of learning something, we're too set in our ways to really change. And I don't think just because we get married a second and third time, I don't think, it doesn't have everything to do with it, but I do think in my professional work, I believe that has something to do with it, what I've seen with people in these subsequent marriages. I'm going to add a bonus part in here, a fourth thing, because it just came to me, a fourth thing that we want to look at as well. Are the divorce, in addition to the high divorce rates, we're looking at the divorce courts, okay? So the divorce courts almost invariably are going to give majority of custody, over 50% to the woman, which means you're going to be on the hook for child support. It doesn't matter how poor she is, how broke she is. She could be living in the worst slum in America and have no money at all. And that kid can be going to the worst school, and you could be rich. That child's still going to go with the mother. Anything short of her being a felon in jail, which would be a felon, or a drug addict. Those things, if she's not any of those things, she's getting that child, most likely. Okay? So, you're betting on this 50, if you're going to get married and bet on the 59% chance that it will work, okay, you can do that. But, you're betting half. You're betting that you're going to lose your kids. And most likely, the judge, once again, majority of custody is going to the woman. You have a crap load of child support, depending on the state that you lived in. There's alimony. You're going to have to start over. You know what happens to a lot of men who get divorced? A high amount of them self-delete. It happens, unfortunately. In my work as a therapist, when I see men cry the most? When they talk about how painful it is to see their kids going through their problems. It never seems to bring the woman to tears. But I always see it bring the man to tears because he feels so helpless. And have your children ripped from you like this, in a lot of times an unfair manner, that's a lot. And the man has to start over. Now he's broke. Now these celebrities, your Tiger Woods, your Dr. Dre's, all these multimillionaires getting divorced, yeah, okay, they have half the millions they have, but they still have millions left. Their lifestyle doesn't change as much. Maybe they downgrade from the Gulfstream G6 to a Learjet. I don't know. They're still flying private, okay? But for the average guy, even if you're making 100 something K a year, no, your lifestyle is going to change. You're going from the house to the trailer park, the house to the studio apartment. If it gets worse, you're going from the house to the car, house to the streets, okay? You're going to get shit on real hard. And so, again, I started off with 3 reasons, and I added in a 4th reason why I don't believe it is beneficial for a man to get married these days. Unless women are coming back to traditionalism, which they're not. It's just not going to happen. Women are just going to keep going in the direction that they're going. It's a highly monetized market for women these days. They can pretty much do what they want, with reckless abandon, and there's no controls on them. There's no burden of responsibility anymore on them. So they're going to do their thing. And that's fine. It just is what it is. But men, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, do not let the decision to get married be a completely emotional decision. And your girlfriend, your fiance is going to talk you into, well, this is all about love. Well, no, it's not. It's about money too. This is a business trend. You file taxes together, you own property together, you own assets together, right? You get a marriage license. Yeah, it is as much of a business as any other kind of business out there. Don't ever let a person talk you out of that, make you see it that it's only about love. Yes, love has some component to it, otherwise you would not have the feelings to even want to be married to a person. But you better differentiate the love between the emotion. Okay, you got to be able to compartmentalize them. That's all I'm saying, gentlemen. You make your decision on what you want to do, but just, balance out what's in here with what's in there. Okay, do that, you'll be fine.